Hey guys, in this video I'm going to go through some charts and show you how you can use the vwap. First I'm going to show you some intraday trading scenarios, and then I'm going to show you some swing trading with the vwap. Alright, so let's get to it. Let's first start with this setting, which is a weekly vwap. As you can see right there in the indicator settings. Those are the standard settings. I just disabled the second deviation right there, and right there. As I don't really use it in my trading, I only use the vwap line and the first deviation. Alright, so this is the setting, this is the standard setting of the indicator. Now this chart shows a euro dollar 30-minute chart, and as I said, this is the weekly vwap. Now you can trade the vwap as a standalone strategy, but you can also use it as a confluence with the volume profile. I prefer to use it as a confluence with volume profile. For example, like this. As you can see, there is the volume accumulation setup right there. Those heavy volumes accumulated in this rotation. So this line would be a level to go short from, right? And the confluence of the vwap in this case is this thin yellow line, this dotted line, which shows where the previous week's vwap ended, right there. It ended at this place, so this is the yellow dotted line. Alright, that's the confirmation of the level. So in this case we have a nice confirmation of the volume level right there, and this was the reaction to the level. Now in here, there's also the trend vwap setup. As you can see, the price is moving below the first deviation, and the deviation goes downwards, which means that there is a downtrend. And when the price hits it in here, you go short from there, alright? When there's a trend development, you can trade using vwap like that. Also, there's another nice confirmation from the vwap. If you look into this area, this rejection of the higher prices, then you can see that heaviest volumes were right there. This is the place with the heaviest volumes, and it meets with the first deviation line. It meets right there. So this is another place where you can go short from. It's a confluence of the volume profile and the first deviation of the vwap. This is again the trend setup. You can go short from there, alright? Now in here, there is a strong buying activity, and in activity like that, you're looking for the trend setup on the volume profile. So you use the volume profile like this to look into this trend area. As you can see, there is a significant volume cluster right there, created in this place. So you draw a line there, and you wait for pullback for the price to make it back to the level. And in this case, you also have the confirmation from the vwap. This is the first deviation of the vwap. The gray line, that's the deviation. And it's very close to our long level. Alright, this place. This is the confirmation. Volume-based level, confirmed by vwap. As you can see, the price reacted to it very nicely. Now there's also a possible trading opportunity. It is in here. There was a volume accumulation setup followed by buying activity. And in here, there is the first deviation of the vwap line, right there. And it meets with the volume-based level, which would be in here. This would be the level to go long from. This is the reaction, right? Volume-based level confirmed by the first deviation of the vwap, right there. Now in here, there are nice cases of the trend vwap setup. First case is not that nice because it would be a losing trade, The price goes above the first deviation, hits the line from above, which would mean you go long from there. Unfortunately, the price goes past the vwap, so this would be a losing trade. But there is a nice reaction to the vwap right there. So this one would be a very nice winner. And afterwards, there are two very nice cases of the trend vwap setup. The price goes past the first deviation, hits it from below, and there's a nice short from there. Also, you can see that there is the support becoming resistance setup in here. If I draw a line there, you can see that this line worked as a strong support. Then the price went past it and it became a resistance. Alright, as a standalone setup, I wouldn't trade it, but combined with a vwap in here, with the trend vwap setup, this creates a very nice trading opportunity. Alright, so there's nice short from there, and also there's another one, and it is in here, right there. There is the volume accumulation setup. If I draw the line from the heaviest volumes, you can see that it's right there. Right, those are the heaviest volumes in this rotation, which got followed by the strong selling activity. Then the price returns back to this level, hits the first deviation of the vwap, also this line, and you can go short from there. Alright, that's a nice confluence of the volume profile and the vwap. By the way, there's also sort of support becoming a resistance setup. Alright, this was the support, then the price went past it, and it became a resistance. It's always best to look for some confluences like those. Now in here there was another strong trend and another nice confluence of the volume profile and the vwap. Right there, this volume cluster with heaviest volumes in here. So let me draw a line there. And as you can see, the first deviation of the vwap goes upwards. The price is above it, and when the price returns close to it, there is nice confirmation because the first deviation meets with the volume-based level in here, in this area. That's a nice confluence to trade from. Alright, so that's a nice long from there. Also, as you can see, there's another reaction to the vwap. The price didn't make it quite to the vwap. Also, I don't see any volume confirmation of this level, but anyways, the price got pretty close and again reacted and went upwards. When there is a trend development, the price usually reacts to the first deviation like this. Now in here, there is a nice confluence of the volume profile and the vwap. There is the volume accumulation setup, heavy volumes followed by selling activity. Now this signal is not that strong because the selling activity is only a weak one, but there is a nice confirmation. Because if I draw the line from the heaviest volumes in here, you can see that this level meets with the vwap. This is the trend setup. On the vwap, the price goes below the first deviation, hits it from below, and you go short from there. Afterwards, the price goes upwards, and if I move the profile like this, you can see that there's another volume accumulation setup. Volumes accumulated in this area, in this rotation, before the start of this aggressive buying activity. So that's the volume accumulation setup, and also it is confirmed by the vwap. So let me draw a line there from the heaviest volumes, and as you can see in this place, it meets with the first deviation of the vwap, which means that our volume-based level got confirmed by this first deviation line and you go long from there. Now there are also some more nice reactions to the first deviation. This is the rotation setup, right? The price reacts to the first deviation and makes it back into this rotation area. those reactions to the first deviation. Alright, this is not a very good one. It would depend on your stop loss. Probably this could be a losing trade because the price went past the first deviation quite a lot before making the reaction. But still, in this case, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners and 1 loser. Alright, so let's move forward. Now in here I don't really like how this looks because the price just rotates around the first deviation. If I were trading that, I would go short from there. Let me see if this was at least 10 pips. Yeah, it was, so there would be a profit in here. Then I would trade the trend setup in here, go short from there. There would be a losing trade as the price went upwards. Then I would go long from there. That's the rotation setup. But apart from that, I don't really see any trading opportunities based on the vwap in here. So let's move on a bit. Now in here there is a pretty tight range. Not really a place where you would like to trade. Only in here the price hits the first deviation and reacts to it very nicely and goes to the vwap line. Alright, so there would be a nice trade from there, short from there. And afterwards, if I draw the profile like this, let me see. Now, the heaviest volumes of this trend, the most significant volume cluster is in here. Those are the heaviest volumes. And as you can see, in this area, there is also the first deviation. That's this gray line, and also this dotted gray line, which means that the first deviation from the previous week ended at this price level. Alright, so this area should be a strong level to go long from. The heaviest volumes being in here. We got confirmation from the first deviation of the vwap, and you go long from there. There's a rotation, but afterwards the price goes upwards. So after some time in rotation, this would be a nice winner. Now in here, there is a volume accumulation setup. Those are the heaviest volumes. Nice place to go short from, especially because there is the first deviation of the vwap. But in this place, there was a strong macro news. It was the FOMC, and it's pretty crazy to trade during FOMC, so this would be a no trade. As you can see, the volatility was pretty crazy. Not really a good place for intraday trade. Alright, so there would be a no trade from there. But let me see in here. There's a nice volume cluster created in here, and there's a confirmation from this dotted line, which was the previous week's first deviation. It's a nice reaction there. Also, very close, there is the first deviation of this week, alright? Now, if you look in here, you can see that there are some heavy volumes followed by a strong buying activity, which means that this is the volume accumulation setup. Heaviest volumes being in here. And also, those heavy volumes are confirmed by the first deviation. This is the confirmation. This is where the heaviest volumes were, and also where the vwap deviation was. So you go long from there. Alright, that's the rotation vwap setup. Now also, we can use the profile like this. And you see that the heaviest volumes before this strong buying activity got accumulated in here. So if I draw a line there, you can see that there is a strong support level in here. It gets confirmed by this dotted line in here, so there's a possible long from this place. And also, a little bit below that, there is this confirmation of the first deviation. Another possible long. Alright, that's how I like to use the vwap. As a combination with the volume profile. Now in this place, the price goes into selling activity. As you can see, there's a downtrend. The first deviation goes downwards. The price doesn't really make it to the first deviation as the trend is very steep. So there's no hit in here, only in this area. There's a possible short in here. Also, there are some more reactions to the first deviation, but not really any confirmation from the volume profile. If you look in this area, there are not really any significant volumes confirmed by the vwap. Alright, so if you are trading those trades, then it would be based only on the trend setup of the vwap, but not on the volume profile. Now after those reactions, there was some crazy news which moved the market up and down. This is not really a place where you would like to trade. After the news, you can see that the price reacted to the first deviation right there. Also in here and also in here. But there is no volume profile confirmation, only vwap setups. Now in here, we had a strong rejection of higher prices. So let me use the volume profile over this area to see where the volumes were the heaviest. Now there was a significant volume cluster in here. So I'll draw a line there, alright, and see if there is any confirmation from the vwap. Now in here, this dotted line, this is where the previous week's vwap ended, right? This vwap ended in here, so this is the dotted line. A nice confirmation of this level we have from this volume cluster. As you can see, the price reacts in here, also in here, there's a reaction, and fourth reaction in here. Strong resistance level based on those volumes and the previous week's vwap. Now in here, there was a strong downtrend, significant volume cluster in here. So I'll draw a line there. And as you can see, the first deviation ended in here, then there is the dotted line. And this level is a strong resistance level based on those volumes and this first deviation, alright? The price turned a little bit sooner. I think that I wouldn't have entered this trade, but still the reaction was pretty nice one, pretty spot on. Well, maybe if I was trading using the volumes, it would be a winner. I'm not sure if I would get filled or no in this place. But anyways, the reaction was there. It was a pretty nice one. Now there's also a place for a possible trade in here. Short from there, based on the vwap trend setup. The price went below the first deviation, returned to it. You would go short from there. In this case, this wouldn't be a successful trade. This one would be a loser, as the price just went past this level. Alright, so this one wouldn't really work. Now in here, there was a nice trend vwap setup. The price is moving above the first deviation line. The deviation line moves upwards, which indicates an uptrend. Then there's a pullback, the price hits it, reacts to it, and it goes upwards. So that would be a nice trade, but if you remember from the previous video, I said that you need to give the vwap some time to develop. And with weekly vwap, it should be 2 days. So there's 1 day and 2 days. So in this case, the vwap is considered not fully developed and you should not trade it. Even though if you look at this screen, you can see that the vwap is quite developed. Because of this uptrend, those deviation lines are pretty far from the vwap. So to me, it seems that it's fully developed. And for me, it would be alright to trade along from there, even though the hard rules say that you should wait 2 days before trading using the vwap. Alright, but in this case, the vwap already is pretty wide, and I think that it would be alright to take along from there. Now in here, you can see that the deviation lines go horizontal, which means that there is a rotation, and you can trade the vwap rotation setup. So you are going short from this line, you go short from there, again short from there. In here, this would be a losing trade. There would be another winner, and also this level would be confirmed by a volume profile cluster in here. Then another reaction right there, short from there, short from the first deviation, and another one in here. So from this rotation, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners and 1 loser in here. Now, if you look in here, there are also some reactions to the deviation line, but the vwap is not fully developed. This is the Monday, Tuesday, so you don't really want to trade with vwap during the first days. So unless the vwap is wide enough, I wouldn't really trade it. So I guess that we can move forward a bit. In here, you can see that the price goes nicely below the first deviation, hits it from below. The deviation goes downwards, which means that we are in a downtrend and we can trade the trend vwap setup. And when the price hits this first deviation line, you go short from there. Alright, that would be a very nice trade. Now in here, there are very nice reactions to the first deviation line, but the vwap is not fully developed. This is Monday, Tuesday, so no trading with vwap in here, so there would be no trade in here and no trade in here. Now right there's a rotation followed by a strong buying activity. So I use the volume profile like this, and the heaviest volumes are right there. And there is the confirmation from the first deviation. Alright, so you go long from there. Pretty spot on reaction. By the way, the range is pretty tight in here, but still there are some reactions to the first deviation right there, but those are not based on volumes, only on the first deviation of the vwap. Also in here, there is a nice reaction to the first deviation of the vwap. Right there, the price goes past it, so this probably would be a losing trade, and afterwards the price turned. Alright, so this one would probably be a loser. But generally speaking, when there is a tight range like that, you want to be careful with your trades, alright? As you can see, this was the middle of the summer. This was 22nd of August. Volatility was pretty low there. Except for this news, of course. There was probably some very strong news in here, causing the rise in the volatility. Now in here, a new week starts right there. The vwap develops. This is Monday, Tuesday, and after that, the price is below the first deviation, hits the deviation from below, so you can go short from there. Also, another short from there. Now let me have a look at the profile in here. There were pretty massive volumes accumulated in the rotation there. And there is the first deviation, so this is a confluence of the volume profile and the first deviation of the vwap right there. So this would be a nice short from this level, alright? Now there's also another test in here, but I think that this was a news candle, and when there's a strong news, you don't want to trade intraday trades, so this would be a no trade scenario. Now in here there is an uptrend, so you use the flexible volume profile over the uptrend. Now there's a significant volume cluster in here, so let me draw a line from the place where the volumes were the heaviest. Long from there. Very nice winner. Also, the vwap is pretty close. The first deviation of the vwap, which is in here, pretty close to the level, which I would personally consider as a confirmation. So we have the volume-based level confirmed by the vwap setup. So this would be a nice long from there. Also, I think that there will be another trade. And this one would be based on this confluence. This volume cluster, also resistance becoming support. Also the first deviation of the vwap, long from there. In this case it would not really be that successful. The price went a little bit below it and then made only a small reaction. Now in all those cases I was using only the weekly vwap, but in my trading I actually use the daily vwap combined with the weekly vwap and the volume profile. So let me switch to my intraday trading workspace and I'll go through some trades and show you how I use it, alright?